Hello, everybody. Rod Baker with God and Rod. And I want to talk to you this afternoon about covenant, an oath, a vow. You know, we're used to covenants, especially when we get married, which is a good place for that to be. But the covenant started with a promise from God to Abraham. They made a covenant. It's a contract without paper. And so many times we really and truly think that if it's not in writing, then it doesn't matter. And even if it is in writing, that we can get other writing to dissipate that. And to some extent, that's true. There is a thing called a letter of divorce. But the actual covenant is made between two people and God. It's the triangle. And a covenant is a powerful thing. And with that covenant, there are obligations. There are obligations that a husband has to his wife and to God. There's obligations that the wife has to her husband and to God. And no matter what that piece of paper says, until the husband has loosed himself from the wife and the wife has loosed herself from the husband. I'm not talking about legally. I'm talking about spiritually. And see, there's a lot of people that have been running around out here, and one has not loosed itself from the other. And the way that you know that is not by them getting married again, but by them being celibate. See, there's power in celibacy. Fornication is the only sin that, adultery, but a lot of the same thing. Hold on. Fornication is the sin where you're involving another. You're truly involving another. But see, when you fornicate with another, then you take on whatever spirit that person has, or spirits, airs, demons, devils, whatever you want to call them. See, that's what's beautiful about the covenant with God, is that he protects you from that. He protects each of you from that with each other. There's a cleansing that happens. It's spiritual. So I was married back in September of 2020. I was married. And then I legally had it annulled in December. But I never released that covenant. So her body is still mine. And it is my judgment on what happens to that body. Now, it's the same with the husband. Doesn't matter if we got annulled and she stayed celibate and I was out there fiddling with other people, then those other people would go through what's called the anathema, which is the curse. It's an anathema. Because see, her body is mine. And my body was hers until she slept with another. She broke the covenant, the vow, the promise. And it has repercussions because you be anathema, cursed. And anyone who has sexual intercourse with her, sexual activity with her, or does something to her body, they're cursed. See, if you don't know the rules, if you don't understand the way that God created it, if you don't understand that, then you're running around lost. You can have all the money you want, it won't buy you peace. It won't buy you salvation. It won't buy you joy. It won't buy you love. Maybe on a Saturday night, temporarily. But I promise it doesn't last. There's no peace there. Peace. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. See, when you talk to a lot of the true titans of industry, there's principles that they live by. There's this understanding of how things work in an unseen plane. See, they understand that. Billionaires understand the principles of money. Entertainers understand the principles of entertainment. So it is my field of expertise to understand the spiritual life. It truly is. There always must be balance. And when something's out of balance, there's a price to be paid because it has to get back into balance. There's the truth and there's a lie. There's the blessing and there's the curse. There's life and then there's death. And just because you're still breathing doesn't mean you haven't died or you won't die and still be breathing. They call it reprobate mindedness, and it's a long process of losing your wits, losing your senses, losing your ability to think for yourself, losing your ability to take care of yourself. It's a horrible, horrible way to die. Horrible. But those who understand the principles of the spiritual life, those who understand the ethos, what's a good word for it? The ethos, the universal laws in the spiritual plane. Once you understand that, once you understand the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the kingdom of God, you understand the spirit realm. No weapon formed against you shall ever prosper. Because you abide by it, see? And when you abide by it, you're protected. You're protected. And these things are added unto you. The storehouses of the wicked are set aside for the righteous. And when you understand the principles of the Creator and all of the 365 angels and all of Lucifer's legions and all of the seed and the garden and the trees, especially the tree of life. Then you understand the fruit. Then you understand the fruit. And once you understand the fruit, then you know what to plant. You know what to dig up. You know what's a weed and what's a mustard plant. Yeah. My people perish for lack of knowledge. You have not because you know not. And guess what? You burn. You burn. You lose your mind. Some people believe you even come back, have to relive it. Maybe you ought to study these things before you try to use the powers of the spirits, the powers of the angels and the errors, the workings of the ethos of God, the Creator, Jehovah, Elohim. He has many names, but there's only one God. There's only one God. And when you believe Him, and you overcome all the things that could ever stand in the way of you and Him, He is my God, and I am His Son. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? You probably ought to study. Get your head out of those curse books. Your little coven of wicked witches of the West. Yeah, because the reaping's here. Not only will you have karma in this life, but where you go after. It's a shame. It's a shame. You had so much potential. But you chose to try to be a God instead of call on God. Reap what you sow. But I promise you, it will be the Armathatha. It shall. Good day.